Alchemy is making your own elixirs, from life skilling elixirs, combat elixirs that you're going to be using out there while killing your monsters and earning money. It can be used for Imperial Alchemy to earn you a little bit of money back, and you can just sell the ingredients off in the central market. The higher your alchemy, the more difficult elixirs and things that you can make, with Guru being the best, having the ability to go ahead and purify your own Lightstones. Mastery for alchemy. When it comes to alchemy, mastery will increase the chances that you will craft the max amount of elixirs, which will give you, like, say 10 or 12, 20 of the elixir that you're trying to do, and will increase the chances of trying to get the rare byproducts like Mysterious Catalyst or the Sturdy Alchemy Stones, Burnt Remnants, things like that. Alchemy mastery will increase the money that you make. But before you get started with alchemy, there are a couple things that you will have to set up first. Either you can go out and gather the materials manually, or you can have workers do it. If you guys don't like to go out and manually gather out in Bear, I prefer to have workers go out and gather the materials. There are certain nodes around the map that you can have your workers set up to get materials passively, so you're not running out there all the time. This is one, for example, for the Fortune Teller Mushroom. Fruits can be obtained from either gathering herbs, farming, or if you put a human worker with higher luck on any type of farming node, you can get the fruit bags that you can open for a chance of getting one of the fruit. See the farmer sack here? And if you place a human worker on any excavation node, you can get the archaeologist sack. These are a great way of getting the materials without having to really go out and get the materials. So for example, take the stone chamber here. Stone chamber has a worker on the node trying to go for the trace of nature. Trace of nature is great for alchemy, and because it's a human worker over on this node, he has a chance of getting the sack, which will give me an added bonus of one other trace. So technically, I have a chance of getting 3 traces every cycle. That's something to keep in mind if you guys are trying to get the materials for your alchemy. Your workers, if you are doing a farming node, try to put a human on it to have a higher chance at getting that sack. Or if it's the excavation node, same rules apply. Try to put a human on it to have a higher chance at getting that archaeologist sack for more materials back to do your alchemy. Check around the map. There are other locations that you can set your workers on, and they can get the materials needed, like soak honey grass, for example. Now, for manually gathering, there are a couple areas that you can go and get the herbs that you want for yourself. 2 locations off the top of my head that have some pretty good herbs that you can get. One here being next to Velia, so it's a little bit closer to Olvia, and the other place being over here in Bear. Bear has the best location for all of your herbs that you can possibly gather. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of guides, there are rotations out there. I have a lot of things in the library that you guys can check out to see your herb gathering at both locations, both here and the Serene Spring next to Velia. Materials can be bought over next to the storage manager here in Calpheon. The herb vendor that you guys are looking for should be over here in the alleyway. It should be like a kid kneeling or something like that. You guys are looking for Neves, the herb vendor. And again, just to remind you guys, if you guys need purified water can be bought over here at the general vendor in the Sandgrain Bazaar. After you've gotten your materials, the next place that you should be heading over to is Olvia. Olvia has a lot of good dailies that you can do to start leveling up your alchemy. They have gathering dailies out there to get the materials together for your alchemy. Just little odds and ends out there, and it makes for a great alchemy capital, so you can put all of your materials here and not have to worry about the other storages having to travel any other place, because all of your dailies are there and all of your materials are there. You can get a residence, which I suggest going for, say, a residence here, because it will be close enough to the cooking materials, the Imperial local, and it's not that far away from the storage if you guys don't have the personal storage. Oh, it's right here. If you guys don't have the personal storage. So any one of these houses, preferably this one or this one, would do. But yeah, Olvia is a great way to start getting all of your dailies. You can find them down over here. Olvia Alchemy Journal will have all of the dailies that you guys will need or will be going through. As you can see, it will give you some money back, some materials. It will give you the alchemy experience. Just little ways to start getting ahead with your alchemy. There is a slight chance for you to proc a bonus quest when doing alchemy to turn in 40 blood, depending on whichever Dalashin will ask for. Once the blood is made, you can go to Dalashin in any major town to turn in the blood to get 500 Trace of Nature and alchemy experience. Liana also has a weekly quest that can be done to obtain 50 mysterious catalysts while doing alchemy, and a daily to turn in a set amount of Imperial Alchemist boxes depending on your alchemy level. If you open up your guild and go into the guild missions, normally it will have get X amount of byproducts and you can earn money back for it. You get guild points for it. It'll help out the guild. You'll earn money for doing the same thing, and you can collect the wage after you're done. But your guilds have to pop it. You just can't go to an NPC and unlock it. I do recommend collect your wage. Don't let it sit there. Don't forget about it. Once you get it done, collect it, because guild leaders will get mad. The other way that you guys can go ahead and start leveling up your alchemy is by doing the Alchemy Guru quest. You will have to already have started your alchemy, so while out there doing your Olvia dailies and things like that, you can go and start doing the Guru quest, but it will offer a lot of experience and give back the sharps to go ahead and make a little bit of money or try more enhancing, whatever you guys do. It used to be a lot better before they unified all of the sharp black crystal shards, but we can still get the experience, right? You guys have started getting the materials, had your workers out there gathering everything, and you guys are ready to start getting into alchemy. When it comes to alchemy, it's not normal tools like with a gathering or hunting that we use. Much like with cooking, we actually have to use tools that we have to either craft. We can get them from quests, we can get them from events, or we can buy them off the central market. Take a look at all of the tools that we have. You can see the alchemy tool intermediate is going to be the first tool that you'll probably start out with. They do give them for completing the milestones for your alchemy. The next one would be your advanced. Your advanced will start decreasing the alchemy time, so it will help you start doing your elixirs a lot faster. Serendia ones will increase your time, but will have a higher durability. Take a look at them, make sure you are not choosing the wrong one. Land of the Morning Light and the Supreme Alchemy Tools are the best tools that you should be going for. The Morning Light tools will have your highest durability, but will only decrease your alchemy time by 1 second, whereas your Supreme tool will reduce your alchemy time by 1 second, like the Morning Light tools. Land of the Morning Light tools are easier to craft, but will have less durability than the Supreme tools. Tools can be made using any tool workshop. The higher your tool workshop, the higher tool that you can make. Your alchemy tool here being the first one, Balanos tool, then your intermediate, your Serendia, moving on to the advanced. Then if you guys are trying to do your longer alchemy sessions or your AFK sessions, or you just want to have that increased durability, heading over to the Land of the Morning Light, if you take any tool workshop, you can make any of the Land of the Morning Light tools, which will have the higher durability. These will require more expensive materials, so keep that in mind. If you guys are out there gathering, just try to gather the materials that you need, or try to buy them, try to do a pre-order, but they can be expensive. Just keep that in mind. Supreme Alchemy Tools can also be acquired from doing the dailies over here in Elton. If you do the dailies, you do get the Oxyder crystals. The Oxyder crystals can be turned in for the Supreme, not to mention doing any Dark Rift bosses around the world will give you Dark Spirit's Greed. Dark Spirit Greed can be exchanged 15 for Supreme Alchemy Tool 2. So if you guys are mob grinding, or you guys like to do the Rift bosses a lot, you can still turn those in for the Supreme Tools to get started with your alchemy. Certain events will allow you to turn in the currencies for any of the tools that you need. Like the last event that we had will allow you to exchange the tools, get your Supreme Alchemy using any of the little event seals that are currently ongoing. It will depend on the event, so check your event listings, make sure there's anything going on for it, or check your currency tab to make sure the Imperial Alchemy turn-ins will allow you to exchange 100 of the seals for the Supreme Alchemy tool. The Land of the Morning Light tools can be exchanged using the sand coins too. 100 will be exchanged for the cooking utensil, and over at Dokpal, I want to say in Dalbo Village, should have the alchemy tool that you can exchange for the 100 sand coins. So if you guys are out there in the Land of the Morning Light doing your dailies, you can exchange your coins for that too. If you guys have already gotten started with your alchemy and need to repair your tools, or you guys just don't like how many slots are being taken up with your tools and you already have one placed down in your house, the next option is to make them into repair tool. Repair tools can be obtained from exchanging any of the respected tools. If you see here, if you hover your mouse over the tool, it will give you any of the NPCs that will exchange it for the repair tool in the tooltip. Just check out which ones will be exchanged and you should be able to exchange it. Supreme tool is different, with needing Dalashian to exchange it into the repair tool. The Land of the Morning Light has to be exchanged over there at the Land of the Morning Light blacksmith. They won't be exchanged anywhere on the mainland. They don't weigh a lot, you can keep them in your inventory, and they only take up one slot and stack, so you can keep them in the storage to reduce the inventory slots that you're taking up with all of the individual tools. But go ahead and repair it. It will take one tool to repair and it will consume it. After you repair it, you should be able to take any little recipe. You get gear for getting leveled up in your alchemy if you go down into your goal. Once you hit Alchemy Professional, you do get the Alchemist clothes, but I suggest getting your silver embroidered. Your silver embroidered can be made at any costume mill in any major town. I suggest getting your silver embroidered. Your silver embroidered will come with experience and the alchemy time reduction. At a +4, it'll give plus 25% alchemy experience and reduce your alchemy time by 5 seconds. But the +3 is the sweet point. Your +4 is a little bit bougie, going a little over the top, and your +5 will be the best in slot for the silver embroidered, but this will help you start leveling up to hit Guru. Now, if you guys are worried about mastery, you can start out with your Logia. Your Logia will be the cheapest and the easiest to get. I suggest going out and buying your try. Enhancing can be a little bit harder with the fail stacks being fixed, though we do have the Agris Essence to help out with the enhancing. As you can see here, it will only count if you fail, so keep that in mind. But enhancing Logia, it is a little bit harder than say the combat gear, with not having any type of way to increase the fail stack, no type of crons. We are basically just blind tapping at this point. But if you get lucky, you can go and get your try. Logia is going to be your sweet point. Then you can start working on either investing your money into getting your try manas or building your alchemist clothes to try to enhance, which it's a lot harder to enhance your mana, so keep that in mind. I don't suggest it. Just buy your try manas. You do have the option when you guys are trying to go for the higher mastery clothes. If you are doing the Imperial turn-ins, you can turn in 5,000 of the Imperial Alchemy seals to get your Manus Alchemist clothes, if that's one way you guys want to do it, or they can be bought off the central market. That's the gist of your Alchemist clothes. Your accessories, obviously the same route. You'd want to go with your Logia first, then you can start either trying to enhance it up to Tet or Pen, or just investing your money into getting your Trimanus. Your Trimanus is going to be your sweet spot for your life skilling. Your best in slot will be the Tet. You'll probably have to buy it. I don't suggest trying to enhance that up. Your Filmoros accessories are a tri-grade version of your Manus. Those are a lot lot easier to get with the season tokens from just doing the season tunes over there on the season servers, and or getting the 300 byproducts from a Liana quest that you can do, a one-time family quest. These are exchangeable at any time, going back to Liana and exchanging them with the materials needed, but that's how you would progress through your accessories. I would not worry about pen. Your pen clothes, just buy them. Your pen accessories, wish or try to tap them up for the memes. They're a lot harder to get. Alchemy artifacts can be obtained from doing the Imperial Alchemy turn-ins. They're a lot harder to get, like the cooking or say the training with generalized life experience or the mastery artifacts and the processing artifacts. So they're a little harder to get, but if you play your cards out right and you continue doing it, you can get either the alchemy experience or the alchemy mastery artifacts. As for the lightstone combinations, we have a couple that we can go through. If we go into the infusion, all combinations, you can take a look at all of the combinations that are available to you. We'll start out with the bare minimum with Ancient Alchemy, which will give us alchemy experience plus 5%. It will require 3 of the Flora Time Lightstones. Moving down, we have the better one, which will give us plus 8 alchemy experience, called Collector of Shattered Stars. This will require all 4 time Flora Lightstones. Moving down further, we have Mysterious Alchemist. This will give plus 16 alchemy experience, which it will require 3 Flora Lightstones and 1 Iridescent Lightstone. For the Mastery Lightstone combinations, we have New Reagent, which will give plus 8 alchemy mastery. This will require 3 malleable Lightstones. Moving down, we have Dreamer, which will give plus 15 alchemy mastery, which will require the 4 malleable. And then lastly, we have Imperial Alchemist, which will give plus 30 alchemy mastery. It requires 3 malleable and 1 iridescent lightstone. Now we can move on to the more more specified ones, the best in slot, if you will. This will be the Fragment of a Star and a Spoonful of the Moon. This combination I will use. I have it for my main, and whenever I'm doing alchemy, it's my go-to. It gives -2 alchemy time, plus 10 alchemy experience, plus 20 alchemy mastery, and lastly, plus 30 weight limit. It will require, unfortunately, Flora Time, Flora Malleable, and Wind Feather with the Iridescent Lightstone. For leveling, if you guys are not trying to do your mastery, you're not trying to go for the rare drops, I suggest going for your choice and focus alchemy. It will reduce your alchemy mastery by 500, but it will give you plus 30% alchemy experience. It requires Flora Lightstone time, 2 of them, 1 Mind, Wind Lightstone, and the Iridescent Lightstone. This one is only used for power leveling, not for your rare drops. As for your Alchemy Stones is straightforward with Blue Grade Life Spirit Stone. These can be obtained from either doing Polyforest, you can obtain them from Alchemy Byproducts like the rare drops from doing alchemy, or you can get them from the central market. These will be your starter stones. They're cheaper with 2 mil before you start venturing into getting your sharp alchemy stone of life. Moving up the list is going to be the trance tier, being the best in slot for your leveling with plus 30 life experience that it will give you. You're mainly going to be using that stone for the plus life experience. This can be obtained from completing a Fulgir quest line that can be found in any major town speaking to Fulgir. If you head over to him, he should have it. Moving on to the Sharp Alchemy Stone of Life. This is your next best in slot until you start trying to invest money. I am not telling you guys to try to go for your Splendid or your Resplendent. Your Sharp is going to be your sweet spot before having to wait for a pre-order or trying to spend billions to trillions trying to get your Splendid. Sharp Alchemy Stone of Life, the Sharp version. It will have more bonuses with the -1.4 seconds for your alchemy and cooking, your plus 14% processing success rate, 75 on your weight limit, plus 2 gathering and fishing level, and lastly, gathering item drop rate plus 13%. The highest you can go is either your Resplendent or your Splendent, so that's going to be your best in slot. Next is your Khan's Heart Life. You are not going to be investing into the stone for the actual bonuses. I mean, the bonuses bonuses are great. They're right below the chart, but you're going to be going for the plus 25 life skill mastery passive. This stone you will use after you pop any stone. Pop your sharp and you can have those bonuses applied. Switch off to Khan's Heart of Life and you have those plus 25 mastery automatically applied while still having your sharp bonuses. So if you have the sharp, the resplendent, the splendid, you can pop it. The Stella, you can pop. The Stella is great having the 100 life masteries. So the costumes are a little different with the alchemist clothes that you can get from the challenge for hitting professional alchemist. Coming over here to the luxury vendor, using the equipment tailoring coupon can turn it into a costume that will give us that plus 10% alchemy experience. If you guys needed to know how to get the equipment tailoring coupon, these can be obtained from the Pearl Shop for 1,500 pearls NA. I don't know what it'll be like for you guys' region, but you'll have to use one of these on the alchemy clothes to change it from the normal equipment to the costume. Or if you guys go into the Pearl Shop, you do have the option of going into the costume section and getting the Pavilla. The Pavilla costume comes with a plus 15% alchemy experience and -2 on your alchemy time. So it's pay to win option for trying to get that 1% alchemy time. The Caphras Book of Nature, I do have a video on that if you guys want to go check that out. I will leave the link down in the description or I'll just go and put it in the corner so that you guys can just click on it. But that will give you plus 10 life experience. And for a summary, if you complete the Caphras record all the way up to volume 4, Allison will have a quest for you to choose whichever book that you wanted, either the contribution, combat, or the life experience one. All right, now let's go down the crystals. We're gonna have to go down the crystal preset, which they're pretty self-explanatory. They're really easy. If you guys wanted to power level, I suggest going and getting all of the life crystals. The life crystals can be made using the forest crystal that can be found sniper hunting out there in the land of the morning light or fishing. And you have the option of using the sand coins to exchange for the forest crystal, but they can be crafted and or bought off the central market. This will give you plus 80 with all of the crystals applied, minus the center. The center is more of a pay to win option. Don't mind that one. If you guys needed the mastery rules apply. All of the vital crystals can be used to give you guys, I think it is 120 or 180 or 160 mastery, something like that. If you guys have a problem with weight, the elixirs are too heavy, the ingredients are too heavy. Another option is stocking up with a complete weight preset. This will vary by what you guys need or how you guys determine whatever crystals that you guys need. This is just my example of a weight preset that I am currently using for myself, but for mine it will give me plus 460 weight onto my overall weight limit. The fairies don't really do much in terms of alchemy, but the fairy can continuously buff you, keep your Vidir drafts going, your spirit perfumes, or if you're lucky enough, you can get the feathery steps to reduce that weight penalty reduction up to at least 125%. There's really no other real contributing factor for the fairy. So if you don't get the right skills, don't even worry about it. Pets, we really don't have much of an option other than going for your generic life skill pets that can either be bought from the Pearl Shop or the more free method of using your central market to put a pre-order in. You're mainly going for the plus 5% alchemy experience skill that your pets have a chance of getting. The other main skill is obviously plus 1% life experience at tier 1 with a max of plus 5 at tier 5. Weight pets are great if you guys are struggling with your overall weight with the materials when you're doing your alchemy and or the elixirs after the fact. So I forgot to add this at the time. As for buffs, it's a little easier with not many options, and once you have your alchemy time reduction down lower, a lot of the buffs are null and void unless you are trying to go for the experience and or if any of the event items has any type of mastery on it. Starting out with all the buffs is going to be obviously your value pack, the Kama's Blessing, and your secret book, the Old Moon. These will be considered your normal subscription buffs and are required required to get back the most experience, tax back on selling anything on the central market, not to mention the availability to use the Villa buff when using your Nephart camp. Moving on, we have the Seafood Kron's meal, which is a staple for any type of life skilling, adding plus 10% life experience for 2 hours. The Seafood Kron's meal also decreases the alchemy time. Then you have the lesser spongy teff bread, which will decrease the alchemy time, but I prefer to use the Seafood Kron's to get the time reduction and the experience. Seafood Kron's meal can be made using either cooking or can be bought using the central market. Some will be given out during events every so often. A good item to use is the Secret Book of Florin. The Book of Florin will give plus 100 life mastery and plus 100% life experience, which can be made from the materials earned by completing the weekly and daily Liana quests, which can be found in any major city. These cannot be bought from the central market, and there is a weekly limit. The Gia Van Groland scroll is just like this, though it can only be obtained from season graduation or given out during certain events. Check your managed currency tab too to double check to see if there's any event currencies that can be used to exchange for any of these scrolls. Moving on, we have the Vidir Drafts, which will give plus 20 life experience, and when you combine it with the magical elixir, it will extend the time from 15 minutes all the way up to 60 minutes. These can be made with alchemy or can be bought off the central market, with a lot of these being given during events. The Perfume of Swiftness is another great item that will increase the life experience by 20% for 20 minutes. Much like the drafts, these can be made using alchemy and or bought off the central market. Another item that can be used is the Mercenary Scroll of Life. These will give plus 50% life experience, and when combined with 3 will add plus 150 life experience for the same 60 minutes. These can be given out for logging in and during certain events. Another nifty little item to use are the life experience scrolls plus 50%, which can be obtained from the Black Spirit Adventure or during events. Another buff we can pop is the Villa buff. For those who don't have the Nephart tent, you can get this buff by heading out to Valencia, or for those who did get the tent, you can interact with the tent to give life experience, though this will cost money. The last item that we can get is the Laura's Warm Black Tea, which will increase the life experience by 30%, but much like a lot of the other items, these can only be obtained from the Black Spirit Adventure or during events. There are other items that can be used, much like the event items or the lesser elixirs or drafts or food that does not give as much experience or the increased alchemy time reduction, like with the Seafood Kron's meal or the Vidir draft, for example. If you guys do prefer to use them, then by all means use them, but these are just some of the buffs that I personally like to use when I am trying to power level my alchemy. And then one final thing is to mention the Krogdalo Donkey Gear. Krogdalo Donkey Gear will increase your life experience by a set of 1, giving plus 3% life experience. The reset will give plus 5% experience. And lastly, the full set will give you a nice plus 10% life experience. These can be obtained by fishing out there in Papa Crune in the middle of the island for the Fishbone token or the Rainbow token to be exchanged for the Iridescent Pebble to craft any of the Krogdalo Donkey Gear. This will require you to have the donkey out and pop the buff before actually doing your alchemy, but will provide more alchemy experience when trying to level. But in order to do any type of alchemy, you have to have a residence. So now that you have a residence, you have your tool, you have your gear and everything, let's go down one important key factor before getting started with any type of alchemy, before you choose any class or you decide to change your class. Blah, blah, blah. Other than the inventory and obviously your weight limit, the Shai comes with a couple skills that will help out with your alchemy. It comes with Light Bag. Light Bag will increase your overall weight limit as you level up. Next, every class has your weight training, not just the Shai. Every other class does have it if you guys are trying to do it on your Musa, your Wizard, doesn't really matter. What the Shai has for alchemy that makes the Shai shine for life scaling is the Joy of Alchemy. Joy of Alchemy will give you 300% combat experience when performing alchemy and up to 5% experience for your alchemy whenever you level it up. Having those 2 skills alone, you should be able to tag any other character, do your alchemy on your Shai, not only level up your alchemy and your combat, but you can in theory, level up any other tag toon using just alchemy experience, not to mention the increased weight limit. So doing the Shai on your alchemy is a good option, though it is not the only option. You can do it on any class. It doesn't really matter. Choose it on whichever one you decide is best, or whichever one you guys bought any type of weight items. But if you guys are still struggling on your weight, you have weight that can be bought from the Pearl shop. It will cost money. This is inventory expansion, and then you have a whole entire section dedicated to weight. Now, getting started with alchemy, the best recipe to get started with is going to be the pure powder reagent. The pure powder reagent will require purified water, silver azalea, sugar, and 1 wild grass. It's one of each. Really simple. These can be bought from just any material vendor that will sell you ingredients for your cooking. The wild grass and silver azalea obviously can be gathered out there wherever you gather the wild herbs. They can be gathered alongside of the road. Doesn't really matter. Bear would be the best place to go and gather all of your herbs, where the purified water can be obtained water scooping using any bottles. The best bottle to use for your purified water would be the yellow grade. Other items can be used to make the purified water, like bags of muddy water, cactus sap. Those are a little bit more expensive and will cut into the value of any elixir that you're trying to make. So I suggest water scooping a local river and purifying it like that. Same goes for the clear liquid reagent. Same rules apply. Herbs can be gathered out there in Bear, alongside the robe, anywhere that you do any type of herb gathering. The salt can be bought from any material vendor. Same thing for the purified water. These can be done at any time up to any point, but if you guys are running out of the experience, you guys are running out of the time, you guys are taking too much time to power level, the next little recipe that I would tell you guys to do would be either the Sinner's Blood. Sinner's Blood is pretty easy, with only needing pig's blood, which can be obtained from either normally gathering or hunting. You can do the sniper hunting out there in the land of the morning light, which is a great way to get the pig's blood. Bloody tree knot, which can be obtained from lumberjacking any trees, or workers can get it passively, which I rely solely on my workers getting the bloody tree knot. Clear liquid reagent, obviously it's the next step up. You will be using the clear liquid reagent that you've already made. Next, the powder flame. Powder flame can be obtained from getting the alchemy byproducts. Your workers can get them. You can get it from mining copper with a rare chance, but those are a lot easier to get. You can also buy any of these materials off the central market too, if you guys are just wanting to buy it and bam, go. Next blood is the Clown's Blood. Clown's Blood is pretty good to make. The materials are easy to get if you guys like to do the rhino hunting out there in Narcion, or if you guys do normal rhino gathering out there in Medea with the rock rhinos trying to get the leather glaze. You can get these from lumbering any trees out there. And Powder of Darkness. Powder of Darkness can be obtained by either exchanging the byproducts that we can get from alchemy. Workers can get it from certain nodes, and we have a small chance of mining it from iron. Those are the two of the best bloods that I personally go for, because of the materials are easier to get. But if that is still not hitting right for you, another option would be going for your more specified blood, the higher tier bloods. Your higher tier bloods will require more materials, like say Wise Man blood is a little easier to do, but can be a little bit more expensive, needing the trace. Now with the unification on the fruits and the traces, it's a lot easier, so you can go for your Wise Man blood now. You can do Tyrant's blood if you guys want, with the traces being a little bit less, but I don't suggest doing the Tyrant's blood. Tyrant's blood is still higher valued than, say, the other ones. If you've done your blood, the blood's not hitting good, you need more experience now, it's time to move on to the oil. Oils are a little harder to make, needing fruit and a trace, or a harder to get material. Hey, their search feature is working. Great little handy feature to do. Make sure you play around with these little options here to check out your recipes. The oils will require the higher, like say Tyrant's Blood, the Fruit of Nature, old tree bark, which is a lot easier to get, and the powder of time, which is a lot easier to get. But these will be a lot harder if you guys are just starting out, if you guys don't have a worker empire set up or the funding to start buying everything off the central market. Oils, it doesn't really matter which one you do. All the oils have the same amount of experience. So if you guys wanted to take a break and do Oil of Fortitude, same rules apply. Fruit of Nature, Clown's Blood, which is a lot cheaper. Oil of Regeneration, we'll take the Legendary Beast Blood. Fruit of Nature, Red Tree Lump, Powder of Rift. The cheapest of all of the oils to go for, in my opinion, is going to have to be Oil of Fortitude. Oil of Fortitude is going to be the oil that you guys should go and power level. I will suggest that right now, taking a look at the Fruit of Nature. Fruit of Nature is a lot cheaper than, say, going for both the Fruit of Nature and the Legendary Beast Blood, say for the Oil of Regeneration. Same thing here. Tyrant's Blood and the Fruit of Nature, both of those together is more expensive than the little Clown's Blood at 14k over on NA. Your region will dictate the amount of materials that you have on the central market and the overall price. For those that are looking for trying to make money with your alchemy, Elixir of Fury is pretty easy. You can make it using the Lion's Blood, you can use Bear Blood, or you can use Yak Blood. Those 3 bloods can be gathered normally. They can be gathered using hunting. They can be gathered using sniper hunting. Getting that blood is a lot easier than a lot of the materials for the higher end alchemy recipes. The dwarf mushrooms can be bought over there in Calpheon. You can have a worker placed on a node to gather them, or you can go out and try to find them out there in the wild. Next, you have the ash sap. Ash sap, again, you can go out there, manually get it, have a worker placed on the node to do it, or you can buy any of these materials off the central market with the purified water. Obviously, you guys know river water, purify it down, or you can buy it out there in the Sand Bazaar. But that's going to be the easiest one to start trying to make money with. It's not going to make you a couple billion right out of the gate, but it will start to pile up over the time. You'll start to get the experience, and hopefully when you guys have that chance of sitting back to reap the rewards, you will get the Mysterious Catalyst, or have a higher chance of getting the Mysterious Catalyst. The Mysterious Catalyst you can exchange for Clear Liquid Reagent, Powder of Darkness, Powder of Flame, Rift, Earth, Time, Shining Powder to make more Alchemy Stones if you guys are trying to go for your sharps, and or the 900 contribution or the plus 30 alchemy experience. But wait, don't turn it in just yeah, these are a great way of getting the Clear Liquid Reagent. The Clear Liquid Reagent is a great way of making money. The Powder of Darkness can make a decent amount of money on the central market. Take a look at whatever powder on your region is making a nice amount of money before you go ahead and exchange it for your experience or change it for the contribution. Until you hit Master, the contribution and the experience turn in is a great way to level up. Once you hit Master, you are hitting basically a stone wall with your byproducts. Don't bother with it. Your cooking byproducts you can get a lot easier, and it took me at least 400 to 500 byproducts to get 1 contribution point. Use them all up until Master, and then after you hit Master, start turning them into the Clear Liquid Reagent or the Powder of Darkness, Powder of Flames. Just go by your region. Your region will dictate which ones you're going to be using, which one you're going to be exchanging for, and or it'll help you out with getting your other recipes that you need done. When it comes to alchemy, the rare drops that I was mentioning, the sturdy Alchemy Stones, your burnt remnants, the unknown seed, your memory fragments, those are what's really going to make you money with alchemy. The higher your mastery, the higher chances of getting those rare drops and the higher chances of making money. You can go from, say, doing 110 mil on your pure liquid reagent to an added 425 mil from that sturdy alchemy stone that you happen to get. Throw in a couple unknown seeds, which is 18 to 20 mil over on NA minimum. You could see where the money starts rolling in. So So your main objective with your alchemy, your mastery. You want that 2K mastery. It's an obtainable thing if you have a lot of money, time invested into it, but that's going to be your end goal. The higher your mastery, the easier chances of getting your rare drops. Your rare drops will give you back more money than, say, the recipes alone, if you can get lucky enough with them. But that's where the mastery comes in. The clear liquid reagent is 50 mil per hour, 2K mastery, which increases to like 250 mil per hour with all of the rare drops and everything accounted for. Even just starting out with a little level 1 tune with the new Family Shared Lifeskilling that came out, throwing on all of the mastery gear, you can get a lot of your rare drops and start making money with being level 1. But your main goal for alchemy is to get the mastery, to get the rare drops, to help out earning money back from putting all of that money in for the materials needed for doing your power leveling. It will cost money to power level your alchemy if you haven't gone out there to manually grind everything yourself. If you don't have the time, you don't have the worker empire for it, it will cost money and you will lose money. If you do have the materials, you will lose money trying to power level. That's just how alchemy is. They made it a lot easier in some regards to the money that we're wasting for power leveling, but just remember, it will be a costly endeavor to do. If you have any questions, let me know. If you guys found this helpful, like, share, subscribe, turn on all those notifications, support the channel. It's great. It's fun here. We have a helpful community, and I think that should be everything. I think that covers everything that I could about alchemy. If there's anything else, let me know.